Everyone, this is the beautiful Jed. He's a thoroughbred cross riding pony. He did unfortunately nick his face on the horse float on the way back here. It was a hired float and we didn't realise the pins were loose and they were turning around, and he nicked his face on the pin. We have a bit of a storm coming in, so I'm just going to do a quick introduction on Jed. He's a 13-year-old 14.1 hand fella, gelding. I've just started doing a little bit of work with him to calm him down. You can see he's quite calm now, eating grass, and he hasn't got his head up in the air and his eyeballs coming out of his head. He's quite an anxious type of horse. I think because he just has never had much leadership. I think he's had some great work done with him. He certainly knows how to move his butt round, how to move his shoulders round, how to go backwards, all that kind of thing, but he's just very, very oversensitive and a little bit jumpy. We have dressed that wound, but unfortunately then it rained and washed all the dressing off. But anyway, we will put some more on tomorrow when hopefully the rain stops, because it's somewhere where you can't really bandage it or anything to keep the stuff on. It's on his nose, on his face, so it's a little bit hard to dress, but it should heal up fine. It's not terrible, it's just, he's nicked himself and needs a bit of care. He does have a scar on the other side of him where he got impaled on a fence, and so it's kind of where your legs would go when you're riding him. Apparently he rides okay, but we haven't tested that yet and probably won't for another couple of weeks. Just give him time to settle in and all of that kind of stuff before we start to really do too much with him. And yes, I've just worked on just calming him down really, because he was quite anxious. He was sort of a head high up in the air, pumping that adrenaline, not so much pumping his head, but just high head and eyeballs coming out of his head, and just really quite nervous. The tail was very stiff and a little bit high, and all of his muscles were sort of on edge, whereas now he's starting to calm down a bit with that little bit of work I've done with him. There was a couple of touches that he wanted to happen instead of, he'll let you pat him and all that sort of stuff, but he doesn't really like it. He's sort of a bit worried about it, but he wasn't worried about those couple of touches that I just did with him. He has done stock work, done mustering, and apparently that's all he's done, so that's cool. He should be pretty chilled once he understands that he has good leadership and that we're not here to hurt him. We will start him from scratch, so as if he is a young horse that doesn't know anything. We do that with all of them because you just never know where there might be holes. The lady said that you can't catch him if you take a halter in the paddock. I don't think the halter is the issue or anything like that. I think the issue is that no one's really seen him for who he is, if you know what I mean. Like, they just want to catch him and do whatever they want with him, which is fine, they're stockmen, that's what they do. But I think he's a very sensitive minded horse, and he just needs that little bit of leadership to understand that he is safe. You can see him sort of reacting there to the little bit of thunder that's rumbling. So once he understands that, I think he's a very intelligent horse. There you can see that scar from the fence injury. He's a very intelligent horse, so I think he will come around very quickly. He's certainly already learnt to face up in about a matter of seconds really, and he knows his name, so that's always good. Yeah, that's basically Jed, and we're going to feed him now before this storm comes in hopefully. And yeah, he'll be in here for a couple of days while he's quarantining like all of the horses. We will worm him tomorrow and all of that jazz, but he's going to have a pee while he's on camera. I'll just kind of focus that elsewhere. So yes, that's Jed, and we'll keep you updated on his progress. And then we've got Faith and another horse, Nico, in the paddock behind him, who are waiting for their dinner at the moment. So Nico's not actually my horse, he's just here being looked after because his owner's had a baby, and you know how stressful that is. So with an elderly horse that had a bit of a kidney infection, so I have him here doing his rehab in with Faith. So we've got the 2 bays in there. They're not up at the moment, but that's where they are.